Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Catlateral Damage. Very clever title, actually. $8.99, 10% off during its promotional period. You are a freshly recruited kitten soldier who is fighting for his fellow evil cat empire to take over the humans and their world. Basically, the idea here is that you gotta knock shit on the ground. Now, of course, I'm being a little bit facetious. Not all cats are evil, just most of them are. I mean, come on, if you've been in a room with a cat, they'll ignore you until they really want attention. They'll cause mass chaos, and this game is proof of that. Alright, let's play some gameplay before we go any further into the cat agenda, or this cat propaganda of sorts. Alright, so we're gonna play objective mode here. Now, you get to choose which cat to play as. Now, as you unlock certain achievements and do certain things in the world, you'll unlock more cats. I'm gonna play as Exor. None of these cats are different in terms of, skills or abilities. They're just different models, and really basically all the same model when it comes down to it. So let's play a little bit of Collateral Damage. Alright, so sorry for the jump cuts here, but the thing is that the game, in terms of fraps, I'm having just a lot of problems with this game in terms of recording. NVIDIA Shadowplay doesn't work. OBS there was artifacting all over the place with OBS, which was problematic. And then fraps, like at the start of a level, it will have resolution problems and it will crash and cause catlateral damage to clash. But if you start it after the level loads, then everything's fine. So, weird. Alright, so you'll be noticing that I am going around and just knocking shit onto the ground. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. So first of all, you can just walk into things and let natural physics handle it. So there you go. You can also use your paws to knock things over. Now, generally, I found that just walking into things works with the exception of flat objects. And so flat objects, you'll really need to sort of swipe at in terms of using your paws. There are 3 stats in the game. There is speed, which is obviously how fast you run as your cat. There is jump, which is how high you jump with just one jump of your cat. And then there's SWAT, which SWAT seems to be a combination. I don't know if power is affected necessarily, but it also affects the speed in which you run around, or the swipe with. So a mouse is on the loose, so I want to catch it. It is an event. These will happen randomly. They could be power-ups. They could be, a red light, or a red laser light. There we go. So I unlocked a new cat by catching the mouse, Kratos. Apparently, God of War 3. I told you guys that the cats were evil. Alright, and is this catnip? No, SWAT is max. So you can see there, my SWAT is just maxed. Now you'll notice that there are these glowing objects, and if you swipe them enough, you'll get permanent upgrades for that objective run. So, like, knocking all the toilet paper off, I can hit this in, and I'll get a boost of speed permanently. You can always check your stats there. Although, for some reason, even though I got that boost of speed, for some reason that didn't matter, I didn't show up there. That's a little bit strange. Alright, so again, the objective here is to knock everything onto the ground. That picture that was there was a collectible, so if you see pictures like cats on the wall or, wherever, you can knock them on the ground and you'll get a collectible to take a look at later on in the main menu. Now, I haven't mentioned the 2 items on my left yet. So, the 2 items on the left, one is a bookshelf, end book, and one is a regular book. The books are worth 3 items each, so if I knock one of them off, fit 152, 155, 158. The other one is that if I knock X amount of items onto the ground, I will get an upgrade after X or hit the ground at that point. So it's a very good way of upgrading your cat, as well as, earning a little bit of items in order to go on to the next round. All right, I've got 2 minutes here. This cat is very strong. I mean, he can knock TVs off at times. Maybe not whole tables, but generally he can knock a lot of stuff, whatever he feels like, onto the ground. So, super cat. You gotta watch out for those cat soldiers. I mean, I'm wondering if they're injecting steroids in this cat, honestly. Alright, knock these guys on the ground. Let's... Oh, another event. Let's see what it is here. High object value. Okay, so now robots are worth a little bit more. Now, one thing I do like about this version of it is the fact that certain items are openable, unlike other games, which I do feel like adds a little bit more complexity to it. So, especially if you're searching for those, you know, random objects, it could really come into handy. Alright, it's complete. Upgrade. Get another upgrade here. Speed 1 now shows up. And time for me to get in. I'll see you guys in the next level. Aww. Alright, we're back at this point. Second level. Again, the number of items and the maps are randomly generated. So the thing is like I think I might have said before, is the fact that in terms of the regular rooms, they're really all the same. You get like a dining area, you get a bedroom, you get a sort of living area, and then you get a bathroom usually, from what I've seen. Now, there's obviously different items and different configurations. When they see procedurally generated, it is, but I think I'm bugged. I can't jump. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know what's going on. Well then, that's fun. There we go. Okay, for some reason, knocking into that... Wow. Okay, so there are some bugs for the game, as you've noticed there. Some bugs that really surprised me at that point. But, you know, that happens once in a while. This game did have a good beta period. I did notice the game on CNanner's channel when I was watching it like a while ago. So keep that in mind. Free upgrade, we'll go get that. Knocked a photo on the ground. Cool. Controls are reasonable. I will say for certain ledges, though, it is really hard to get to them. In particular with like those little shelves like right there, and in particular those double shelves, it could be really hard to really accurately get there if you're not upgraded, which I guess is an okay portion of it, but sometimes the items in question that spawn there are the ones you need, and especially with plates. Plates seem like a good like combination item that it could take like 4 or 5 attempts at jumps to really, you know, get to what you need. All right, there we go. We're gonna knock all these things off. Oh, those robots are worth 6, so we're gonna definitely knock those guys off. Come on, there we go. Now, the upgrade system does work, that's for sure. You do definitely notice it when you've upgraded something like even 2 or 3 times. All right, there we go. Can I open you up? I do like it seems to open up with the appropriate paw, as opposed to just like, you know, open swipes of anything. All right, there we go. Now, the one thing is that this game is a stress reliever. This is basically you causing chaos and just enjoying yourself while doing it. In terms of variety, the levels will start to feel samey after a while, even with the procedural generation. Now, there are specific levels in terms of, there seems to be special levels, like one is a supermarket, for example, and that definitely helps out things because it changes the objectives a little bit. I've only found one. I don't know if there's any more beyond that at this point, and really when it comes down to it, even for those, it comes down to the fact that, well, you're basically trying to knock things on the ground. Whether it be an X amount of things or Y amount of things, you're knocking stuff onto the ground. That's what you're doing. Oh, soccer ball. There we go. And sandals. Now, the physics does do well, and honestly, the controls work. Some strange jumping at times, I feel, but it works. It definitely works. All right, what do I need to do? Can I cook my cat? Can I open this up? Not to say you should be cooking cats, people. I mean, I'm not a horrible monster. Well, at least not today. I mean, the full moon isn't out, so the werewolf in me is not out yet. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm trying to find things to talk about because unfortunately that's where the game's power outage, clever. Game's weakness lies. The fact that you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And if you're looking for a lot of variety out of your games, this game is not it. It is definitely knows its niche as a stress reliever, and it has that cute catsy kind of feel to it. You know, the little events that happen, like, you know, the whole laser or the mouse, really do feel like it is a, you know, cats kind of game. But the thing is that I'm having trouble recommending it just because if you're not buying it as a stress reliever, then you're probably not going to get what you want out of it. It's under 10 bucks. Let's put it that way. And, you know, if you're really looking for something, it definitely works for that, especially, again, like I said, as a stress reliever. Otherwise, I honestly would buy this as a sale item. Just wait for, you know, the game to come out when it's like, you know, $2.50 or maybe $5. $5 seems like appropriate for this. In terms of like recommending it as a game entirely. I know that's not a lot different than 10 bucks. Honestly, it's just another one of them. But when I consider all the sales that happen, you know, on a regular basis and just the amount of variety you can get out of $5 games at times, honestly, it just doesn't stack up at that point. Now, again, if you're looking for a stress reliever, I'm going to keep on hammering this home, that this game definitely does the job, and I've been relaxed while playing it. It doesn't ever hit, like, even when the time is about to, you know, change over, in terms of, like, you got, like, a minute left and you only got a certain amount of items, you never really feel stress. Even though you would lose all your upgrades, I believe. I'm not exactly sure on that. I haven't failed yet. And it's a rather easy game. It has that charm to it. That's the thing. It has that, you know, sort of charm where it knows its niche, it knows exactly what it wants to do. There are frustrations with it, that's for sure, but honestly, when it comes down to it, you're getting what you paid for. And I think that's the best recommendation I can say. If you're looking at the Steam store page and you're wondering, is it actually going to tell me exactly what it is that it does well and what it doesn't do well? It does. It basically describes what the game is, and that's a good thing. Alright, other than that, I think this is where I will sort of leave off at this point. If you did like this content, you know, give it a like, and, you know, always like that review on Steam. It always helps out to get more exposure to these. You know, sub if you want more content like this. Tomorrow's video is going to be interesting because I have not gotten the key yet for it. This one I bought on my own. This was a sort of a free day at this point, but tomorrow's I was expecting a key a week ago, and it's an RPG, so it's going to be an interesting idea of whether or not I can actually get it done. Alright, this is Dragnix signing out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and keep on gaming. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have a chance, leave some feedback and comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button. This is Dragnix signing off, hoping that gaming brings as much fun to you as it does for me.